Hello, my dear viewers. I appreciate you being here. My name is Filipe Barros, your West Coast swing and solo dance teacher, and it's a joy and a privilege to help you on your journey. Today we're looking at musicality. I love music, and my aim is to help you grow in your joy and musicality of this wonderful dance. Let's jump into it. Great, so the first thing we're going to look at is something which makes this dance wonderful, is how our tone of the arms can communicate to the other person the things you're doing, the movements you're doing, but also we can also make the dance uncomfortable for the other person if we have too much tone in the arms. So a great tip for you, my lovely people, is that we have the arms lower down. I'm just getting the right position here. So we have the arms lower down, we lift them up with a nice frame, and we keep enough tone to keep the frame which is still malleable, but we don't have super toned arms, and then that's going to help you communicate what you're doing to the other person, and also you're going to able to be more elastic when you're dancing. So if some people worried, including followers, that I'll be a follower here, if I'm back towards the back of my heel and I'm really stretching, that they're worried they're going to be heavy on their leader. If you have a relaxed arm and keep the center counterpoint, which we'll be looking at later, it's actually not going to be heavy with your leader. I know it sounds weird if you're doing things like this. If you keep a light arm, it's not going to be heavy on your leader. And same with the leaders as well. If we're doing really cool things, it doesn't have to be heavy on your follower if the arm is relaxed. So have a go. Tell me what you think. You can try the elastic band at home against the door. Let it go just so it stretches, and then try changing your position and try to keep it in that same position without it going ridiculously stretched. See how that works for you. Now, I've spoken about this a lot, and the next thing was about the famous center counterpoint, where we both create a wall or a center between us. For example, if I'm here and the follower's here, then we can then communicate to each other. So it's a very special moment now, because it's been a while, and we have a wonderful, my dear students, it's Here she is. So we have those relaxed arms, we raise them up, and we keep enough tone to keep that frame. Even in the free arm, you can think about a nice shape in that. This is the center counterpoint we've established. So from here, we can move towards or away. We can manage our space here, and we communicate to the other person, but that's for another video, how we communicate that. So this is how we can feel what the other person is doing. It's through the center counterpoint. So we have some away energy from here or towards energy. So I'm going to bring a stick to show you. Wonderful exercise. Again, a lot of these things I'm talking about today is from the great Robert Royston. And I recommend his website, The Royston Method. I subscribed last month to it, and I watched hours of videos, and I loved it. So a lot of these drills are his, which is amazing. So we make the wall, and then we might have a pulling energy, which the leader might encourage by shifting my pitch away, my body away. Maybe a little bit of the fingers as well, encouraging that pulling energy. Maybe the lats as well. And then from here we want to keep that, but really nice and relaxed. And then I might lead a left side pass, and it might constantly stay in this pull sensation. And all the patterns we do. And look at this, I can communicate what I'm doing to my follower, which is wonderful. I've got to remember to engage those lats there. There we are. So if I do the left side pass, we can even do, Robert Royston says, we can do a sugar pull, where the sugar push is always in pull, because I'm keeping it always in pull. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But now if I shift my body forwards, it becomes pushing energy. We can now do a left side pass, always pushing. So the follower doesn't want it to fall, so she's going to have to keep it pushing against it, matching what I'm giving. Amazing horn. We are amazing horn. So sugar push, again, always in a push energy, because we don't want it to fall. If I was to say take it away, it's going to fall, so Ho has to grab onto it. So you want to keep it together here or away. So this is a really nice mindset to have when you're dancing as leaders and followers, to keep this energy, and then you can communicate things to your partner. The next layer I want to talk about is layer 2, which is background body motion, which is where you're keeping like a movement in the body dancing, but it's not specifically hitting anything in the music. It's more like the vibe of the music. So if the song is more groovy, you might have that pulse. A lot to say about this. We're just going to cover it briefly. But I like to think about the chest coming out. I'm not using the shoulders. I'm not doing this. I'm using just the chest. But nice. She's got a good expression on her face. I like it. So great. So we pulse, and then we groove together. Then we're dancing our patterns. We might have this background body motion with a pulse, 2, 3, and 4 because the song suits it. Or sometimes we might have a bit of like swimming of the body. Maybe if the song's more gooey, you might have more of this. Just a general swimmingness of the body. Let's do a left side pass because I love them as well. So it's the background body motion. I'm not hitting anything specific in the music, but I'm acknowledging the vibe of the song. We have lyrical music as well, which has a different vibe. Might be more releve, a bit more gooey in my lyrical music. So that's my second layer. First layer. Was that the first layer?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So now, the second layer, looking at this correctly here, is musical accents with the body. So this is where we practice our isolations. You can be in front of a mirror and we can think about what can I do with my head. Just getting used to hit things with your head from side to side, forwards and backwards, tilting circles in both directions, then shoulders one at a time. Yeah. Hips, she likes the hips, so that'll be coming later as well. So shoulders, and then we might have them going forwards or backwards, one at a time. These things you can do. Ribs, one of my favorites, going from side to side, forwards and backwards, or diagonals or circles, and so on. Very briefly covering these ones. Then hips, can hit with those hips. I really like doing things like going forwards with doing those hips. Then we have the feet, ankles, lots of cool things we can do. So yeah, from that we can then practice how am I going to hit little things I hear in the song whilst I'm dancing. For example, I'm dancing a sugar push and I hit something in the song. I'm going to hit that with my shoulder. Or I'm going to go here. I might do a little body roll as I hear something in the song. I might catch one hand, then swivel those hips, things I can hear in the song. So that's a really fun thing. And again, we can do it together or individually. But the other person might feel it to a center counterpoint, but they might necessarily do it exactly at the same time, or they might pick up on it. So that's another layer. I like to call it micro musicality. You're hearing little things in a song, and you're hitting it. Very fun, enjoyable to do. So that's our second layer. Now our third layer is actually doing things together. We're bringing each other. We could maybe invite the other person to join in, or see them what they want to do. We might want to give an invitation, they do something, or you do something and they join in. So if I do another arm turn, I might say, okay, what's she going to do? I might lower my energy slightly here and give her a window of opportunity. Oh, cool. And then I might enjoy that moment. I could also join in as well. So if we do the right side pass again from this side here, then I'm going to see what Har's going to do. I'll hear something in the music. I see what's she going to do. Okay, cool. I'm going to join in as well. And then cool. And then Har can communicate that through her center counterpoint by having energy, and I can feel other things she's doing, and I might choose to follow her as well. I might do something as well. I often like doing, for example, a traveling tuck and I might suggest to do something, maybe some knee openings. She can do her own thing, or I can do my own thing. I might go into one of these, and then nice. Knee openings with a little bit of shoulders, and then we come out here. Again, this is what makes it so fun. It's dancing after all. So some suggestions for you that you can involve your partner. You can also post at the end of the slot. So I might do a left side pass, 1, 2. I might post here, and then I might start playing with the music. The follower can do something the same, or they can do something else. And I can try and lead that through the center counterpoint. A little bit of rotation as well can help. And here, and then when I'm ready, we come back out. Or I can do it on the anchor steps. So I go 5 and 6, and now I go and da da da. And we're both playing with the music together. And then a lovely right side pass, background body motion, and so on. Wonderful dance. So that was our next layer. Now the final layer, which is what I really love as well, is the macro musicality, where we're listening to the structure of the music, which I've spoken about in many videos before, where the music is structured in 8s. 4 bars of 8 makes your phrase. And we often will like to hit the 1. We might hear it rising, and then we want to hit the 1. I have my phone. I'm going to play this song here, and we're going to identify the structure of the song. Normally introductions are 16 counts. In 5, 6, 7, first verse, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, second verse, and 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, third verse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, fourth verse, 1, 2. Now we know something's going to happen. In 5 and 6, what's going to happen? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, third 1 and 3, 2. I'm now thinking, okay, something's going to happen. I might want to hit this major one coming up. And 4, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and... So they've got a cool structure. And also talk about hitting things in the music as well. Individuals, micro-musicality as well. I try and identify patterns within that structure. So I'm hearing introduction, I might not know the song, don't get intimidated if you don't know the song. Because you can listen for patterns. So I hear that, okay, is it going to come again? Let's see. Didn't come there, but I think it'll come now. So I'm already identifying patterns, which are repeating. And then now it starts the verse. So I'm listening for patterns. I can hear, what do I want to hear? Do I want to hear those? So I'm identifying these I can hear xylophone coming there. I don't know this song very well. I'm like identifying stuff. So this is the identifying. Then when we're dancing together, we can hit it micro, just little things which don't affect the patterns, or we can do it with patterns. Interesting song. So this is our amalgamation. We had suggested choreography. It's not something you have to bring into your dancing. It's more the idea to get you practice hitting the one. And it's really satisfying when you hit the one. We have often a moment of deceleration into acceleration and hold for at least a count. And it adds that contrast and effectiveness. So this is how the amalgamation goes. So we're going to go 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4, 5 and a 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and hold. And that's your way to practice hitting the ones. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Oh. So have fun with the musicality. There's so many different layers. She's gone. She's disappeared. So there's many ways to practice. You can't hit everything in the music. But my encouragement as well, something that really I think helps me a lot, is rather thinking about it as a performance. And then I find I might get a bit, my nervous system is on and I'm pressure. I think more now about just sharing with people. Trying to bless people with this wonderful dance. And then I think it helps take the pressure off, and it's more like, how can I give people, help inspire them? You don't have to do everything perfectly, and connect with the music, enjoy it, relax. So yeah, hope that's helpful. Hope that's helpful for you. And yes, it's been a pleasure to help you. So let me know in the comments below which tips you found most helpful. And I offer video coaching. You can submit your videos to me. I can help you look into where you can most look at to improve your dancing. I love looking at competition videos, or it can be your practice videos. I also do one-to-one private lessons and also groups. So you're welcome to contact me if you're interested. And if you found this video helpful, then feel free to give this a thumbs up and to click on that subscribe button below. And don't forget to enjoy your dancing and to have that share mindset with other people. Have a great day.